Hello, teacher.
Hello. Hello, Joshua. Good evening.
Good evening, teacher.
Okay, how are you tonight?
I'm fine.
Okay, that's great. So you're too early today, tonight, rather. So now, so that you are fine tonight, so we will be having our class again. So how is your weekend?
Weekend.
Yes,
Good.
that's good. Okay. So now, how is your school?
Fine.
Okay, all good to you. Now, so let's try to have your book now. Wait for a moment. So here is your book for tonight's class. So you already here now in chapter 2 of your book, where we will be having the bird order myth. So now on this one, you will be reading a passage about this topic. So let's try to have now the passage. Wait for a moment. Okay, so here is the passage that we will be having. And again, this is all about the birth order myth by Alfie Kohn, which is all about health. Okay, so let's try to read this one first. Can you read this one for me?
No wonder he's so charming and funny. He's the baby of the family. She worked hard trying to please the boss. I bet she's a firstborn. A born. Anyone that's selfish has to be an only child. It's long been part of folk wisdom that birth order strongly affects personality, intelligence, and achievement. However, most of the research claiming that firstborns are radically different from other children has been discredited, and it now seems that any effects of birth order on intelligence or personality will likely to be washed out by all the other influences in a person's life. In fact, the belief in the permanent impact of birth order, according to Tony Falbo, a social psychologist at the University of Texas at Austin, comes from the psychological theory that your personality is fixed by the time you are 6. That assumption simply is incorrect. The better later and later studies are less likely to find the birth order a useful predictor of anything. When two social scientists, Sir Sidley in Ernest and Julius Engist, reviewed 1,500 studies a few years ago, they concluded that birth order differences in personality are not existent in our sample. In particular, there is no evidence for a firstborn personality.
Okay, thank you for reading the first one. So here, no wonder he's so charming and funny. And in fact, he's the baby of the family. So meaning, if there if someone is the baby of family, it means that he is charming and funny. On the other hand, if there is hard trying to be the boss, it means that she is the firstborn of the family, meaning firstborn are the one who are bossy, okay? And the baby or the lastborn is the one who is charming and funny, because they believe that on this one, birth order, okay, birth order is the one that affects your personality, intelligence, and achievement in life. They believe on that one, okay? Because it for them it is a part of folk wisdom, where the birth order strongly affects someone's personality, intelligence, and achievements. Okay, however, most of the research are claiming that firstborn are radically different from the other children has been discredited, and it now seems that any effect of birth order on intelligence or personality will likely to be washed out by all the other influences in people's life. So meaning on this research, they are not believing about something that they called firstborn, okay? Because those intelligence or personality will going to be washed out, okay? On on some people, or especially on firstborn, because they will going to interact by other people who will going to influence their life, okay? In fact, the belief in the permanent impact or birth order, according to Tony Falbo, who is a psychologist, okay? This word is psychologist, comes from the psychologist, that this theory of personality is fixed by the time you are 6. So meaning your personality will going to develop when you are 6 years old. So this assumption simply is incorrect. The assumption about the firstborn is simply incorrect. On the other hand, there are two scientists who are Cecil Ernst and Jules Angst, who reviewed 1,500 studies a few years ago, and they conclude that birth order differences in personality are non-existent, or it is not true. In our in their sample, and in particular, there is no evidence for the firstborn personality. Okay, so remember, for those scientists, firstborn personality are no existent, or they are not true, and there is also no evidence about a firstborn personality. So,
Mm,
okay, how about you, Joshua? Are you a firstborn? Are,
mm,
are you a
I'm only one.
Oh, so you're only one, so you are considered the firstborn baby. Okay. So
Yes.
how about you? Do you believe about this kind of thing? About those firstborn who are radically different from other children? Or those firstborn that is being a boss?
Mm, yes.
Yes, I agree. Now, let's try to move on with this one. Putting birth order in context. Can you read this? Putting birth order in context.
Of the early studies that seem to show birth order methods, most fail to recognize how other factors could confuse the issue. Take a family size. Plenty of surveys showed that eldest children were overrepresented presented among high achievers. However, that really says less about being a firstborn than about not having many siblings, or any at all. After all, any group of firstborns is going to include a disproportionate number of children from family small families, since every family has a stubborn, but fewer have a firstborn. Most experts now believe that position in the family means little when taken out of the context of everything going on in a particular household. Whether sibling rivalry is promoted or discouraged, for instance, parents who believe that firstborns are more capable or deserving may treat them differently, thus setting up a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay, so in this concept about everything, the study about the early study about this one seems to show that birth order mattered. Okay, birth order mattered, and most failed to recognize how other factors would confuse this issue. Like for example, the family size. Okay, so plenty of surveys show that eldest children were overrepresented among high achievers. However, that really says less about being a firstborn than about not having many siblings. Okay, because they talking about a family size or any at all. So after all, any group of firstborn is going to include a disproportionate, okay, number of children from small families, since every family has a firstborn. Because if there is no a family, there is no a firstborn. Okay, because every family has their own firstborn child. On the other hand, fewer have fourthborn. So meaning, because on a family there is only, or a typical family, there is only firstborn, middle child, and the baby or the last born. So what if there is a fourth born? What would be the personality of this fourth born? Okay, and most experts now believe that position in the family means little when taking out of the context about everything. So those parents who believe that firstborn are more capable of or deserving may treat them differently. So meaning, those family who have or who see their firstborn have the capability or the capacity to have a better life, they will going to have, or they will going to treat them differently from the other. Okay, thus the setting up is a self-fulfilling prophecy. So do you
Hmm.
have any more questions about this one?
No.
No. So let's try to move in now in this one. How about the old juries die hard?
Consider the question of whether birth order affects achievements or intelligence. Many experts today suggest that birth order plays no role at all. When Judith Blake, a demographer at the University of California, Los Angeles, looked at birth patterns.
Okay,
Blah,
so
blah, blah.
thank you. So this juries consider a lot of questions of whether birth order affects achievement or intelligence, because many experts today suggest that birth control order plays no role at all. So meaning birth control doesn't have any rule at all. So let's try to move on with the next one. For a moment.
Mm,
So, oh, so in this one, before 1938, and compared to the SAT scores for the group of children, she found out that there's no connection. On the other hand, the number of the siblings does matter. Okay, they doesn't believe about the firstborn, but the number of siblings is one that matters, because the are small families are on average much more supportive of the kind of verbal ability that helps people succeed in school. On the other hand, Blakes also says that the reason she believes is that the parental attention is diluted in larger families. Okay, so on this one, um, Blake focused about the numbers of siblings that matters to her. Okay, because according to her, small families are on average much more supportive of kind of verbal ability that helps people succeed in school. Meaning, small families are the one who are supportive to their children, and they give them a verbal ability that can help people to succeed in school. Okay. We also have the reasons that she believes is that the parental attention is diluted in larger families. What do you mean by the word diluted?
Or mm, mm, mm. I don't know.
Okay. So here, as you can see, she believes that is that the parental attention is diluted in larger families. Diluted means that it is being weakened. Okay, so meaning if you have large family or a lot of number of family, your relationship to them are being diluted or weakened. On the other hand, if you have small families, they are the one who has a strong bond to each other. Okay,
Yeah.
any more questions?
No.
No. So can you please try to read the next one?
As for effects on personality, results are mixed. Research suggests that you are somewhat more likely to be outgoing, well-adjusted, and independent if you grew up with few or no siblings. Two recent studies, however, found no differences on the basis of size alone. The only certainty is that there don't seem to be any disadvantages to growing up in a small family, including being an only child. After reviewing 141 studies, Fablo and a college found that being raised with or without siblings doesn't affect personality in predictable ways. Where small differences are found, such as in achievement motivation, they favor the only children.
Okay, very good. So on this one, as effect of on personality, they have a mixed result. Okay, so those research suggest that you are somewhat more likely to be outgoing, well adjusted, and independent if you grew up with few or no siblings. Meaning, if you have a few siblings or if you doesn't have any siblings at all, you are more likely to be outgoing, well adjusted, and independent because they doesn't believe about those personality that you can develop if you are a firstborn or something. Okay, and these two recent studies, however, find no difference at all. The only certain is that they don't seem to be any disadvantages to growing up in small family, including being an only child. However, there is a small difference were found, which such as in achievement motivation, they favored the only children because those if you are an only children, your parents will just going to focus on you, not on your siblings, because you are just their only child. So meaning their full attention will going to be only to you. Okay?
Yes.
Any more questions?
Mm, um, mm, 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 mm. Teacher.
Okay.
Yes. No.
No
Nothing.
question? Okay. So let's try to move on now with the last part of this passage. Do kids need more space?
More space.
Yes.
If position doesn't control destiny and family size has only a minor impact, what about the spacing between children? Although little research has been conducted, some psychologists believe there are more advantages to having kids far apart rather than close together. Some specialists caution that siblings close in age may be treated as a single unit. This is eyebrow raising news, given that parents are sometimes advised not to wait too long before having a second child. However, different studies have led to different conclusions. One found that a person was more likely to have high self-esteem if his or her siblings was less than 2 years later.
Younger.
Younger. Another indicated that the spacing has no impact on social competence. And the others note the positive effects for boys but not for girls. As with the birth order, cautions about jumping to conclusions may be ignored by the general public. As Blake said, you're never going to completely put to rest what people think is fun to believe.
Okay. So here, do kids needs more space? Okay. So if positioning doesn't control destiny and family size has only minor impact, what about spacing between children? So meaning spacing between children are those age gap that you have. For example, you are 10 years old right now. If, for example, you are 10 years old right now and your younger sibling is about 6 years old. So meaning you have a 4 years gap. That is what you call spacing between children. Okay. On the other hand, there is also some organization like like for example, bear, family planning. Okay, family planning is like a thing where you need to plan your you, you need to plan about your family, and that include the spacing between children or the age gap before you have a new children or kid. Okay, so although this research has been conducted, some psychologists who believe that there are no advantage to having kids apart rather than close together. Okay, because there are some parents that are sometimes advised not to wait too long before having a second child. However, different studies had led to different conclusion about found or about one found that a firstborn was more likely to have high self-esteem if his or her sibling was less than 2 years old younger. So meaning those children who have siblings are most likely to have a self-esteem, okay, if they have a sibling who are 2 years old younger than them. Because on my own experience, those firstborn that have those kind of siblings who are 2 years younger than them are most likely are being independent, even though they are still a kid. Okay, they have a high self-esteem, meaning they trust their own self, okay, when doing something on their own. Okay, and as the conclusion about this one, um as Blake says, you're never going to completely put the rest what people think is fun to believe, meaning you are the one who will going to have your own life, meaning you should not think about other people if they were going to be happy on your decision. So now we are all done having this one. Any more questions?
No.
No. So if we don't have any more questions, we will be having now the fact finding where you need to answer true or false. And if your answer is false, you need to write your answer. So let's start with one.
Uh, mm, the firstborn child in the family is different from the other. Yes.
Okay, very good. Let's have the next. Wait for a moment. Number 2.
Studies will probably find the birth order affects personality. Yes.
Yes, okay. 3.
Uh, the number of children in the family of affects personality more than birth order does. False.
False. So why is it false?
Mm, or, that, it is opposite.
Okay, it's opposite because it doesn't affect okay the personality if they have a large number of children on their family. Okay, how about number 4?
Uh, growing up in a small family has many. No.
No, okay. Very good. 5.
Many experts believe that birth order does not affect intelligence. Many experts believe that um
Like the 2 scientists who are Cecil
true.
friends. Okay, true. Because they believe that, or many experts believe that birth control does not affect someone's intelligence. Okay, number 6.
Some people believe it is better for a family to have children far apart rather than close in age. I think it's
Some people believe it is
false.
oh false. Why is it false?
True.
Yes, it's true because there are some people who believe about you will be having or you will going to have a better family if your children are far apart rather than close in age. It is like um what do you call it? An age? No, birth spacing. Okay, the birth spacing or those children who have an age gap. Okay, so let's try to move on with the next one. So here are the reading analysis where you will be having different questions. So before we have this one, do you have your book with you?
Yes.
Yes, okay. So let's try to have number 1. So this would be all about lines 1 to 3.
Yes. What follows the dash? Um, um, extra information about them.
Let's see.
I think it's one. One.
No wonder he's
Reason.
charming and funny.
Reason.
Okay, so your answer is reason.
Yes.
The reason he's charming and funny. Yes, very good. So that's the reason why he's charming and funny because he is the baby of the family. Now, how about letter B?
Uh, He's the baby of the family means. Teacher, the A was one.
Yes.
He's the he's the
The baby of the family.
youngest child.
Yes. He's the youngest child. And letter C.
Selfish.
Selfish.
Only think about himself or herself.
Okay, very good. Now let's try to have number 2. So this would be all about the first paragraph itself. So what is the statement? Or this statement are examples of what?
Read the example of first order miss.
Okay, what is your answer?
First order miss. Miss.
Okay, very good. That's the one, letter B. Now, let's try to have number 3. So this would be all about lines 5 to 8. So what is the word discredited means?
My teacher.
Okay.
Has been misunderstood.
Misunderstood?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Because it also means that someone who is brought into disrepute, meaning there it is like a disgrace or dishonored. Okay. So any more questions about discredited?
It is two.
Yes, it is.
Nothing.
Nothing. How about letter B? What does the word influence mean?
Influence. Effects.
Okay, very good. Now, how about letter C? This statement means that as a result of other influences, the effect of birth order means what?
Um, mm, as a result of other influence, the effects of birth order will
If we are talking about the result of other influences that affects of birth order will
combine.
combine.
Become clear.
Okay, it become clear because of the other influences or other results that found. Okay, any questions?
Nothing.
Nothing. Now let's have number 4. Here is the lines 8 to 11. What information follows in fact?
Mm,
Here is line 8 to 11. What
True
info?
information about birth order.
Okay, great. Now let's have the next one. One moment. Okay, B, line 8. What does the word impact means?
Impact. Im, impact. Importance.
Importance?
Cause.
Like Okay, the cause.
Effect, importance, cause, effect.
Okay,
Cause.
okay, the cost. Now, let's have letter C. What word in these sentences is a synonym of assumption?
That's my question. I don't know the assumption.
What is it?
What is assumption?
Assumption is those things that is accepted as true or certain that it happened.
Fact.
Okay, it's the fact. Very good.
Facto.
Facto? Lines number 13 to 16. What does the dots between personality and are indicated? Okay, let's see. 13 to 16.
Hey.
Okay.
What do the dots between personalities? Dot? Where? Where dot?
Let's see.
Yes.
Here.
What are the differences in personalities? What is quotation?
Quotation.
Quotation.
Wait for a moment. Where's the question now? Where's the question? Is it in here?
Quotation.
Oh, it's not. On what page are we now? What is your answer again? What is your question again? Quotation? The quotation?
What is the quotation?
Okay, that's what I will going to show you. Quotation is something that is used especially in English where it is referred or repeatedly added on something. Quotation is this one.
3.
This one. This is the word and this is the quotation.
2.
Okay, so assumption. What does the dots between personality and are indicated?
Both Ernst and Engst are speaking at the same time.
No. So on this one, personality, and then there are some dots here. So meaning some words has been deleted. Okay, because they didn't indicate or they didn't show those words. That's why they just put some dots. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions?
Nothing.
Okay. Now let's have P. What does the word non-existence means?
Doesn't exist.
Okay, it doesn't exist. Very good. Letter C. In particular means what?
Teacher, what was the A?
A. Some words had been deleted.
Yes. In particular, especially.
Okay, very good. Letter D. Evidence.
Proof.
Proof. Very good. So how about this? Take family size. In this sentence, what does the word take means?
Consider.
Considered. Okay. Plenty of.
A lot of.
Plenty of.
Some.
Some. Okay. So now, how about why is everything in italics means? Oh, okay. This is the last one. Why is everything in italics means?
To show importance.
Okay, to show importance. Very good. So now it's already time because we started at 5:01. Oh, no. 6:01. 5 away. Now, that will be all for tonight because it's already 40 minutes. So before we end, do you have any more questions?
No.
No. So we will just going to continue this one on our next class. So that will be all for tonight. Thank you and have a good night ahead. Bye bye.
I
Bye bye.
teacher.
Thank you, Joshua.